Coach, thank you for joining us on the call. If you would just take a minute to tell us how your open week went as you prepare for Saturday's game at USF, please.
Well, I think we had a productive week last week. Practiced a few days there during the middle of the week and really focused on our student-athletes' academics, health, and certainly South Florida. So our staff was able to go on the road. Our entire staff was on Friday and go recruiting. We had a few coaches out Saturday as well, and we're back with meetings and practice on Sunday afternoon and Sunday evening. So, again, it's hard to believe it's already going to be November 1st this Saturday. The season's flying by, and we're looking forward to getting on a plane Friday with this challenge in front of us with a very well-coached, very talented South Florida team at their place Saturday afternoon.
Take questions for Coach Levine, please. Star 1 on your telephone to join the queue. The operator will introduce you.
And we'll go to Dan Tortora. Dan Tortora, Broadcast Media.
Hey, Coach. How you doing today?
Great, Dan. How are you?
Doing very well. Thanks for asking. I know you went in a little bit there, too, having the bye week. And just when you look at the team, I mean, you went into the bye week winning 2 in a row for the first time this season. What did you get from your team in this bye week?
Well, a couple things, and what we talked about with our young men going into the week was we needed to focus on 3 things: our academics, our health, and South Florida. So I think the bye week, people ask all the time, did it come at a good time? Did it come at a bad time? And again, the schedule's set. In the spring, you find out who you're playing, when you're playing them, and what the dates are going to be, and certainly when the bye weeks will fall. And I think for us, it did come at a good time. We were a little bit banged up at this point in the season. So the young men we have in our program that have suffered injuries that are out for the remainder of this season, not including them, I think the bye week helped us heal up, and as we go, toward South Florida this weekend. So really, again, wanted to focus on ourselves. Coming out of the Temple game, did a nice job, I think, winning the turnover margin. Did a nice job on our special teams with field position for the most part, but still had too many penalties. So some things we wanted to clean up, and again, continue to be good with our timing to continue to get our offensive operation running as smooth as possible, and then again get kind of a head start in terms of our game plan for South Florida.
And then as far as Ward, you and I have talked about him before, just what he's done for you. I know you've asked him to do a lot of different things, and he's played a lot of different positions, but where is he right now as he went into this bye week and is coming out of the bye week? What can you say about your quarterback?
Well, I think, I said this a couple times, even I think a week or 2 ago, the more he focuses on quarterback and the more he plays in games, the more comfortable he's going to get, the more comfortable his teammates are going to feel around him. And I think that really showed up in the game against Temple. He completed 88% of his passes. I think between throwing the football and running the football, he accounted for a little bit over 300 yards in total offense, and we didn't turn the ball over. So, I thought he played well against Memphis in his first start. However, we did turn the ball over twice offensively, and I think we saw improvement from him from start number 1 to start number 2, and I think we certainly saw him much more comfortable, not just when the ball was snapped, but really pre-snap in terms of the communication between him and our coaching staff and him and his teammates.
Thanks, Coach. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Dan.
Next, we'll go to Joey Knight, the Tampa Bay Times.
Coach, I'm sure you've watched a lot of USF on tape, and they've had stretches where they've been very, very successful against spread-type offenses, and they've had stretches where they've struggled mightily against spread-type offenses. When you watch their defense on tape, what do you see?
Well, I see a couple of things. I think they do a nice job mixing things up schematically and bringing pressure. I think they're very athletic. I think they tackle well. I think when you look at how many fumbles they've recovered this season so far, well, I want to say I saw the number 12, and the ball comes out all over the place. So they're very active. And again, familiar with them, having played them last year at our place. And, I think you're exactly right. I think they've played very, very good defense so far this season. And, we've got to do a great job taking care of the football and trying to not get negative plays. I think they do a nice job. I think they're very active up front, and, they do a nice job getting penetration along the defensive line, getting in your backfield. So we got to stay out of the negative plays, whether they're run plays by design or keeping our quarterback protected.
And is it nice to have some tape on Mike White, unlike last year?
I know. That's we were talking about that the other day. I think if my memory serves me correct, I think going into our game last year, they'd gone a game or so without an offensive touchdown, if my memory serves me correct, and then Mike came in, did a really nice job in our game, went up and down the field, put points on the board, and now he's got really a lot of experience going into this season. So it's that was something last year. I remember it was a short week for both programs, and being that we played on Thursday night. But yes, we get a little bit more video on Mike coming into the game Saturday.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Next, we'll go to Joseph Duarte, Houston Chronicle.
Good morning, Tony.
Morning, Joseph.
Just wanted to check, without having William Jackson for the first half, your plans at corner, does that include, or is that Teron Walker?
Yes, we got Teron Walker, Brandon Wilson, and Howard Wilson, and Tyler White. So, Teron will start for us and play certainly a significant amount of the first half. But again, we've got some depth there, and we've been rotating a number of young men throughout the course of the season to this point.
And Tony, at quarterback, with Greg playing the way he is, is this still a week to week with how you're going to handle that, or is it kind of since you're entering November? Do you look at it where you have to go one way in one direction, or are you still keeping the options open with how you handle between Greg and John?
Well, we'll have a plan going into every game. Like I've said in the past, I keep that plan. We communicate it within our program, but I'm not going to make that public. So, again, I don't know if I'm answering your question or not, but Greg will start this game, and we communicate to both he and John what their role will be, and again, not make that public just for schematic purposes and kind of game planning purposes, if that makes sense.
Okay, no, thank you.
Yeah.
And do we have any other questions for Coach Levine, please? Coach, well, thank you for your time this morning. We appreciate it. Look forward to talking to you again next Monday.